Hello, my name is Jorge White, and I'm going over week 9 scenarios. A lot to do with Docker. Docker is amazing, can help out quite a lot to be able to put a place where you can put backups and restore them if you need to move places. And so that's what we'll be doing. The first scenario, what we're going to do is we're going to first turn on our Docker. As we can see, we have it on. After that, we want to be able to create backups and put them into Docker. That way, we can restore them in our our server instance that we will be connecting to here soon in SQL. Okay, to be able to do that, first, something that's really important here is that we want to make sure to know which databases we want to be able to go ahead and create a backup for this, and it'll tell me which ones are pretty big and which ones are small, so according to the size. In megabytes, we're not going to do the wide world importers. We're going to do these ones right here. We're going to restore these ones. We're going to create a backup and then restore them in our instance here on the left. That's the second thing you want to look at. You want to be able to see which ones you should do and which ones you shouldn't. Container running, and you know that if it's green here and it has an icon right here to stop. With that, let's get going here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open Windows PowerShell. And what I like to do, or what the video explained, was to get into this directory, specifically in the directory here for the program files where the backups are located. And after you do that with this command, and make sure you have quotes around here, you want to go ahead and begin calling to Docker, being these files over. As you may notice, you have to put quotes around the name of the file, and then you have to tell the name of the container, and you have to specify where you want to put it. So that's what I did basically with all of them. As you can see, we have the entertainment one, the recipes, full sample, and school. If you're wondering what the names are on this, what you can do is go to your local disk, program files, SQL Server. I have two servers here, so do that. My MS SQL backup, and here they, as you put the name correctly, and it is case sensitive, then it'll do it for you. After you hit enter in one of these, it'll actually just give you another line here that you can enter. Within the Docker side of things in the container, there's this option called CLI that you can click on, and it'll open something very similar to what I already have over here. What you'll want to do is first you want to check out where you're at. We're using ls, and then we want to go ahead and get into the directory of home. Click ls again, and this is where I stored my backups. We have the bowling, recipe, sample, school schedule, sales, and entertainment backup. Keep in mind, whatever it was named before, you can change the name of it like I did right here. That's why you see the 3rd of March instead of just full sample backup, you see sample backup March. So I did that to make sure that, hey, you did this not long ago. So we're going to go ahead and close that. So that's that scenario there. I'm actually going to go in to SSMS, and we're going to restore these. We're going to go through restoring one of these, and I actually left one on purpose. I already did everything else, as you can see. All I need to do is just school scheduling. So what I do is make sure I connect here in the Object Explorer to my Docker according to the port, right? Click databases, restore device, and this is a container. And if you remember, we put it in the home folder. Just find school schedule, we hit OK. Hit OK one more time. Now, before you even do this, make sure you go to Files, relocate them. That's what we need. I'm going to hit OK. Perfect. As you can see, we have it ready. And what I did before anything. I actually decided to do just some simple queries, right, to just test it out. So I'm gonna run them, and since I get information back, that's perfect. That means that they were able to get restored um, perfectly. The next thing that I want to go ahead and talk about, which did cause a lot of troubles first, is that when you create your container, you'll need to also enable, since we're going to be creating jobs, you need to create, or you need to enable a SQL Server agent for the container, this server. To be able to do that, and what I had to do first is your Docker is running, right? We have the Docker running here. After we have it running, we make sure that the integration to the distros are enabled. So if you go over to the settings, resources, WSL integration, make sure that this is enabled. And that if you have additional distros, in this case I have Ubuntu, it's like a way to log in, basically a way to use Linux here in a virtual machine. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but I turned it on, I applied and restarted my my Docker here, my container, and I was able to get in and start doing some stuff around here to be able to enable it. So first, as I was testing this, I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing, but then I did. And so you run this command here, the docker exec, you do all these things, you make sure that you include the name of your container here, and after you run it, you'll be able to get put into something like this. This is the server ID basically, or the container ID that will get in there. And after that, you go ahead and run this, and you enable it, and you're good to go. What I recommend doing after that is actually to restart your container one more time. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit, and all you need to do is just hit this, stop it, and then run it again. Super easy, super simple. And after you do that, you actually want to open up your SSMS. In the SQL Server agent, you can refresh it, and if this turns green, perfect. That is awesome. Then after that, what we're gonna do, and don't mind the numbers, by the way, the step numbers. After you've done that, we still need to configure or turn on what you call Agent XPS. So you run this store proc. If it does it and it worked, then it'll give you this message. That's what it did to me. So now I can create jobs. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get into creating the job. Super simple. If you remember, we've done this before. Something that you can do is, and what I did was basically look at my other jobs that I have in my local, and I copied and pasted them over to here. So you do like a new job, right? You go through the steps and make sure that everything's okay. And I like to look at the queries, the script, right, that will be created from doing this. So I do that. And the next thing would be just to basically run the SQL job here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it. I created one specifically to check for failed logins in doc. I just put doc just to remind me that this is a job inside the container. And I also had to make sure that I had schemas inside my MSDB. And you can add schemas in there. And after I created it, let's go ahead and run it. Actually, let's see if we have anything. So we click on start job. Yeah, let's start from one. Start, it'll run. Nice, that's exactly what I want to see. So I'm gonna refresh it, even though I kind of don't need it, but I'm gonna refresh it. Look at the tables, that's it, perfect. And I'm gonna select top 100. And look at that, it looks like we had a couple of failed logons. And that'll be basically it. I believe you can do it. So do it. You got it.